Today we're going to talk about how to activate multiple growth points along a stem even if you only have one leaf. So on a plant like this, you have multiple nodes. So we have two nodes here, one at that branching point where the leaf connects, and back here a leaf was connected. So this leaf is providing for this entire plant. And as we know, we have our shoots that come out right at the side of the stem, and then it alternates to the other side, and there's our other one. So typically what you would do is just cut this in half and take one of the nodes with the root attached as the upper node and be a mid-cut, and then try and root out the bottom part. But the problem with that is there's very little photosynthetic material attached to this node. So just the green along the stem would be able to provide for this shoot coming out. And that can be quite dangerous. So kind of the work around that will be to give like a slice in this stem, and I'll show you guys how to do that now. So here's another example. We have a big great leaf here, and we actually have three nodes here connecting there, and connecting back here. So we know there's actually three growth points on this plant. But if we cut off just the upper leaf, these lower ones will probably struggle to survive. You can see the axial bud is there. Then we know it will alternate and go to the opposite side. So right there, alternate again and come to this inside. Tons of really great roots along the stem. And at every node, you also have a set of roots that come out at every point. Once in a while, they'll come out in the middle of the stem like this, adventitiously. So since this is the top leaf, this node where this was cut off will automatically be forced out because it's the most upper node along the stem. As if it's growing vertically like this, we cut here and it sends auxins down to here to force this node to shoot out. But we want to also activate this bottom one at the same time. And once it's activated enough and growing out, we can separate it completely. So with a clean pair of shears, I really like these for doing these cuts. And I'm going to clean them with a little 3% hydrogen peroxide. Or you can also use a razor blade. I'm going to be very careful and effectively half cut this stem so that it forces growth from this bud also. So I have my root here and one here. So I'm going to go between them and literally just, because my blade's on the top, just let the blade go about halfway through. I'm going to kind of show you the side profile. I did this one on the other one. It worked great, so I wanted to show you guys this method. So we have that cut right there, and over our fresh wound, we're going to put a small amount of 3% hydrogen peroxide. You want to leave the vascular system of the plant intact, send sugars back and forth and water through the plant, through the xylem and the phloem of the stem. So you can see a small amount of bubbling going on there. There's the depth of the cut. I'll actually do another one because we do have three nodes on this plant. So technically this is three separate plants. So on the inside here, there's our other node. Same thing, I'm going to go about halfway through the stem, kind of working my way around. You can see the cut depth. Maybe like 30 to 40% through the total diameter of the stem. And my other one is right there. Cut, cut. I know some people might be like bummed out for the plant that they can like feel this, and you might be right, but it is a great way to turn a triple node single leaf plant like this into multiple plants. So now that we have that done, the result from about 10 days typically, where you would have like just the top, shooting out, and we call this the horn stage. I cut there and it healed up really well. You can see how deep it is, about halfway through, and there is our horn coming out at this node. So once this comes out and has a little leaflet, like the first leaf is really small. Once it has enough photosynthetic material, because I have a root going down here and a root going down here, I can then separate these two plants, and then I have two Monstera albos. I want you guys to be really careful with this technique. Don't go all the way through. That plant does need to transmit water and sugars back and forth from the root zone. But if you do it carefully, this could probably work for most aroids. Just again, don't get through like that 30 to 40 percentile. It's probably better to go lighter and maybe do like 25 to 35% through the stem, cutting through like that circle. And you can always go back and add more than cutting too much. And if you see stem wrinkling, that's not a good sign. That means you might have gone too far through the stem. So try this method out if you want to create more shoots from your multi-node Monstera, especially when you only have a single leaf. And of course, if you have multiple leaves along the stem and you don't want to cut it apart yet, you can also use this technique to kind of sever in between the nodes to create multiple shoots along that stem, even if you have a bunch of leaves. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up down below. It really helps us out. And if you want to come back every week for another video about plants and how to grow them, click subscribe and we'll see you next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.